coming to you live from My Insurance Guy Studio.
Are we on? Are we doing this?
It's recording.
Is this happening?
It's happening. Coming at you live from the My Insurance Group Studios. It's the Homes and Homies podcast. With your favorite host, Ernest.
I'm Ernest Enriquez with eXp Realty.
That's right.
And John Hansen with My Insurance Group.
Mike Litton with Thrive Mortgage.
James Cardenas, My Insurance Group.
Why do I feel like we all deepened our voices for that intro?
You sound more manly. Just saying that.
Coming at you too live. So what do we have lined up for the audience today? We had some a good week. Terrible week in the market, though. Mike, you want to talk a little bit about what happened there?
Well, it wasn't. Well, I mean, so here we are Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, and the market's been good so far this week. So I kind of already washed last week out of my mind. And this market, the bond market's been up 2 days in a row. Rates are starting to dip again. I have to go back to like February 4th for equal rates. So we made up some good ground last 2 days.
So still sitting 7.5, 7.25.
Oh no, we're back in the sixes.
Okay,
6.875, less good credit, low sevens.
Interesting.
Making progress.
So we should see that buyer activity and seller activity start to pick up just a little bit.
They should get excited again.
I like that. Less good credit.
Let's get.
That's a euphemism for crappy credit.
What about you, John? What'd you have going on this week?
Oh, insurance is a dumpster fire at the moment, but no, that'll change. We are hopefully in Central Texas, South Central Texas, going to have a quiet spring. If we have a quiet spring, insurance should start. There's whispers that companies might want to actually start taking property again. So fingers crossed.
Property as in like.
So a lot of the companies didn't want to grow last year and this year, so it became a real hard. We don't have that amount in Texas this year. I mean, it's not off to a great start with these fires up in the Panhandle, but right. South Central Texas, if we have a quiet spring, we might see some companies want to start looking our way again. So.
Interesting.
Amen. We need some of that.
Yeah.
We need all the breaks we can get.
Ditto. Everything that guy said.
Everything he said, he repeats, right? So, yeah, I mean, on my side of things, it's been really odd, like just really, really odd. Picking up business left and right. We're getting some more inquiries, as I like to call them. Everybody just kind of poking a little bit of interest into the world of buying a home here in the near future, but who knows what's going to happen with all the lawsuits and everything as we can foresee. The real estate landscape will probably change here in the short future for a lot of people. So trying to get ready for those changes to happen and shift my focus to deal more with helping people sell their homes.
In my opinion, there's going to be no change.
No.
I mean, Texas is pretty well insulated. We've already got some pretty verbiage in our contracts. I don't see a lot of change happening.
I think the biggest thing that's going to happen is how agents present their compensation. And mostly it's going to fall and rely heavily on the listing agent to explain thoroughly to a seller exactly what the seller is paying for, which we probably haven't had. Historically speaking,
well, it's kind of like a given. It's like,
yeah.
Well, what's in the air I breathe? I don't know. It just is. I mean, that's the way real estate's been forever.
Well, and I mean,
never question it.
You go to the other spectrum of things where they're talking about like this lawsuit because the standard practice has always been 6%. Well, I look at it in the essence of what about the 1% models? Like you've always had a choice to go to a 1%er.
Very true.
Why didn't
There's
you?
a lot of them out there now.
Why didn't you?
And when he says 1%er, he's not talking about the super wealthy.
I'm talking about John.
The 1% listing.
The
companies.
1% listing companies. So it kind of debunks itself in theory. If you think about like the idealization of what's being presented, it's just a matter of that agents don't have the representation that they have right now. So, yeah, that's where I stand. But I did some Googling over the weekend and found some interesting real estate topics, insurance topics, and highly searched trending topics. So one of the most popular real estate topics was a question that people are asking to Google that says, I have $20,000 and want to buy a home. How can I do it? Mike.
Man, with $20,000, you are buying a $300,000 home. So it's going to give you a down payment of 3 to 3.5%, cover your closing costs, and boom, that is a $300,000 house.
So you would probably advise them to preserve their cash funds, go with the smaller down payment.
So, I mean, there's a misconception that 20% is required.
Right.
That has been gone by way of the dinosaur from like 1968. So, I mean, a down payment as little as 3% for really good credits, 3.5% for less than ideal credits, because the FHA is very forgivable. And that's still a very good rate, a good payment. That's money for your down payment and your closing costs.
Right.
And it's a great investment. I mean, so doing the math on a $300,000 house, I'm giving you $20,000. So the average appreciation last year was 5%. Mm-hmm. My house is now worth $15,000 more. I invested $20,000. I made $15,000 back. That's a 75% rate of return. You're not getting that anywhere else. Plus, you need a place to live.
Exactly.
Right, and so y'all are talking in the frame of mind of from I'm going to live in this house, I'm going to be the homeowner of this house, right? Yeah. So what are the opportunities for the investors out there, as well? I mean, obviously, is it still 20% down if you're going to go ahead and get into that game?
So I love real estate. I have investment properties, and yeah, you're going to have to pony up. Mm-hmm. I mean, from the banking world, are you going to default on your house that you have tenants in or the house you live in? So if push comes to shove, I'm going to make sure my family has a house to live. I'm not going to pay my investment mortgage. So yeah, I got 20% down. You can have slightly higher rates.
Sure.
But
but with less buyers in the ecosystem,
right?
What is that? How does that, from an investor standpoint? Like if I've got $100,000 and I'm looking to do something with, how does that? What's the difference in an ecosystem in this ecosystem for an investor? Maybe it's a good time to buy because there's not as much competition, right? How would you guide me on something like that?
Well, I think as far as what I'm seeing on the real estate side is that the sellers are motivated. So the person selling the home is generally giving the buyer, in most cases, if not, some cases, if not most cases, however you want to word that, they're giving them seller paid concessions. I mean, we're seeing it throughout the entire industry. So as an investor, if you're coming in with like your 20% down, you could theoretically negotiate getting your closing costs paid for by the current seller of that property.
Now, are all of these homes, I mean, as an investor, you think, I got to find that off-market deal, that off-market listing, that pocket listing. I mean, are these properties available just through the regular MLS, to working with a realtor to locate this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I think like one of the things that I strategically like to do, and not to give my playbook away, is go back and look at like expireds and canceleds and look at some of these off-market now deals. Mm-hmm. But if we're specifically talking about something that's currently listed, I'm going back days on market to look at those properties that may still be sitting on the market for the last 6 months, because those are going to be the properties that I probably have the best negotiation room on. The other flip to that is like being open to where you're investing. I know, Mike, you got some investments going out of state. I was actually looking in the area where Mike was looking at. I'm like, holy crap! Like I can get a 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,300 square foot home for $30,000, and it's livable.
It's livable.
You still need to do your due diligence and look at the rental rate. But when we're talking 20%, that's $12,000.
Now, are you considering owner?
That's bad math. Wealth in real estate.
Right.
I want to hold these bad days till I die and pass them on to my kids.
Sure.
So no, I'm not entertaining.
Okay.
I mean, unless I've got a really cash heavy buyer's going to throw money at me, I can reinvest it in something else.
Right.
But odds are good, no.
And your play is you're not looking for cash right now. You're like, hey, let me invest in the long term, right? So.
I'm playing both sides of the field. I'm getting a good cash flow, and I'm appreciating.
Yeah.
And my tenant is helping pay down my mortgage.
Yeah. Win-win.
Plus my tax write-offs.
Well, that's what a lot of people don't realize as well, right? Like they just see it like, I'm going to only make $300 in difference in what I'm paying in the mortgage, but they forget the actual equity that they're building in that house as homes appreciate, right?
Heck yeah, appreciation and your balance is going down.
Yeah,
Okay, so
both.
just for the 101, get it. Talk to me about appreciation, depreciation. What's the difference between them quickly?
So appreciation is when your house gains value. So depreciation, if you're talking a tax term, is the rate that your house becomes broken down or dilapidated, becomes a tax write-off.
Right.
So I don't have to spend money to depreciate the house, but it comes off my bottom line for taxing purposes.
Got it.
But your house technically depreciates in what you owe on it
Well, so
versus what it's actually worth.
So
kind of
your
like
actual-
your car,
yeah.
right? Like when you're thinking of taxes, like my truck, you buy a $40,000 truck, it depreciates. But in like the market last year, my truck actually appreciated.
So in that aspect, real estate. So over the last 74 years, there's been 3 years where houses depreciated. I'll take those odds all day long.
right.
Got it.
74 winners, 3 losers. That's okay. I'll take that bet.
Absolutely.
But the other part to that is you go get like 5, 6 properties, investment properties, and sit on those for 5 years. Each one of those, let's just say, appreciates, and you have 40, 50,000 equity in each of those homes. That's a good substantial amount in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Plus what you're making and the difference of, your rental rate versus your mortgage.
Now, the market that you seem to tap into out of state seems like you're getting a good deal, maybe getting the house at a lower entry point, versus the San Antonio market, right? Where it's like, if I want to buy a house full price as an investor and start renting it out immediately, I may not be getting the cash flow and the appreciation. I might only be getting one.
So oddly enough, so in San Antonio, it's going to cost you more to get in, but you're going to get more appreciation. Your house is going to be worth
Right.
more quicker.
Bigger market.
Where the market I'm playing in doesn't get more cash flow, but it's going to slow and steady appreciate.
Right. 5 years, you might see 30K or 20K, whatever
Yeah.
it might be, versus San Antonio 100.
So
to
choose your
120.
poison.
Yeah.
So I chose mine because I can buy 2 or 3 properties for one property here. So I can kind of spread my
Right.
risk out. So if one tenant's not playing there, 2 will cover
Yeah.
my loss for me.
Well, what I've been specifically looking at too is like DSCR loans. I think I've talked to you a little bit about them. We haven't
Absolutely.
explored it yet, but it's something that's becoming more and more actually trending amongst
Palatable, yeah, absolutely.
amongst investors because it's a no income credit check, like
So
type loan.
DSCR, debt service coverage ratio.
Right.
So that means that if the house rents up for what my payment is, cool, the bank's happy. So I don't care if you have no job.
Right.
I don't care if you make $3 an hour flipping patties. If the rent is paid for by the property, it's
But
approved.
it cannot be your primary residence. That's the
Correct.
only stipulation.
Well, 'cause you can't rent to yourself.
Yeah.
It's 25% down.
20%.
20%, yeah. And there's a caveat to that too, because 20% down, it could also, there are some DSCRs that will do short-term rentals.
Now, is this hard money or is this coming from
No,
an
this is
institution?
this is coming from.
It's considered non-qualified mortgages. So qualified
Right.
mortgage is something that's backed by the federal government. It meets all the boxes after they passed the Mortgage Reform Act in 2008. There's
Right.
a bunch of different things that go into it.
Right.
So this is still a bank product, but it doesn't check those boxes, so it's considered non-qualified. So it's held in the bank books.
Right. And they're going to have requirements like the length of ownership that you have to hold it, prepayment penalties. So it's not something that you would use on like a fix or flip. You would use it on like a fix and hold type
Yeah.
scenario.
Got it.
Put people into the actual home, rent it out, make your equity.
But it is a fixed
Fixed rate?
Fixed rate.
rate.
Yeah.
and
It's a little higher from my understanding.
So,
It's-
I mean, higher risk, higher reward. So
Right.
the bank wants to be compensated for giving you a riskier loan.
But then again, you're not going based off of income, so there's no like debt to income ratio on it. It's just
Does it cover?
does it cover the rent? If type deal. Like there's a few properties here in San Antonio on the northeast side that I've kind of crunched the numbers and thrown them at it. Just at the price point that they're at, just a little bit more, right? Like you're looking at a $215,000 house. You kind of calculate the 20% down payment on it and so forth. So you got to be ready, right? You got to be ready to do it. Numbers got to make sense and so forth.
Yeah, and it's risky. It's like it's a risk. You're going to put your money out there, and there's nothing's guaranteed. And
Nothing other than the old 0.5% savings bond.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
flipping script. Let's pick on John over here a little bit.
Wait, I got one more point.
And
Go ahead.
Back to my $20,000 original scenario. You get 0% return on renting. No matter how much you put in every month, you're getting 0 of that back. So you might be saving a little bit every month. I got a cheaper rent, but you get nothing.
right.
And your rent's just going to go up.
I mean, to that point, before we kind of change scripts here, to that point, FHA, a lot of people don't realize. I'm coming across this, not to throw any buyers out there or any names, but I'm coming across this quite frequently where buyers kind of have this stigmatism of like buying a home that, oh, I need to be super qualified. I need all this money to have down. Where in reality, if you think about it for a second, like if you go apply for an apartment or apply for a rental property and you have a lower score, let's say your score is 580, they're going to require you to most likely put big first and last month's rent. Your rent's $2,000. That's $4,000 up front, plus all your application fees, things like that. I mean, you're looking at bond programs for first-time home buyers if they can pay down the credit card that they were going to use with the money they were going to use to put down as a security deposit. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
In the next 30, 45 days, they could theoretically be ready in a good position to buy.
Yeah, we'll open that topic on another.
Just
down
pending.
payments. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right.
And house hacking. Let's open that up next time too.
House hacking.
Yeah.
But to the insurance topics, throwing it John's way, top Google searched and highly searched insurance question: does homeowners insurance cover lost jewelry? Yes.
Sometimes.
Depends.
No, yeah, depends. Well, so almost every single home policy will have a cap on jewelry, right? And some of them are set at $2,500, some are set at $5,000. Really depends on what home policy it is,
right,
and what company and what cap they set it at. You can increase that. You're going to obviously pay a premium to increase that. And then I always tell people, though, what I would, if I were you, I would either schedule a very expensive piece of jewelry or get a separate policy called a personal article floater for that piece of jewelry. That personal article floater, what's cool with that is it's all risk. And so anything happens to it, it doesn't really matter what happens, there's coverage for it.
Right.
As long, and I mean, there's some caveats, right? Like if it's not being worn, it needs to be stored in a safe, and some other caveats. But for the most part, if you're water skiing and you're, for whatever reason, you felt like you needed to wear a $50,000 diamond ring water skiing, which would blow my mind, but it falls off, goes in the lake, there's coverage.
Right.
You
And
got to
so
take it on the boat and press the valves.
But once the property leaves the house, at that point, you're better off, or you might want to consider a personal article.
Well,
because the homeowner's insurance
when you schedule it on a home policy, there's coverage for things, but like all home policies, they're almost every home policy in Texas is not all risk for personal property,
right?
And so there's not the vast scope of all risk, right? So it's named peril on personal property, and I don't care how you raise a limit, there's going to be holes, right? There's going to be things where like, well, that doesn't qualify, right?
Because most people buy insurance and they say, well, I have insurance, I'm pretty much covered for everything. Yeah. You know, and that's the mentality of most people buying insurance.
Right. And so a personal article floater is basically like, hey, that is covered for everything.
Yeah, everywhere. Everywhere,
everything, everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So,
but there's also like I guess like a requirement or criteria for those personal articles, like things like appraisals.
Yes.
So like on a diamond ring, like I know you have to go get it appraised
within the last 3, especially if it's not some personal article floaters don't require it until you start hitting certain thresholds, right? If you hit a $20,000, $25,000 threshold, almost every single company is going to require you to get an appraisal. And the appraisal's got to be within the last 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of ladies with a lot of purses at their house, a lot of jewelry, you know what I mean? So that stuff adds up.
It does. And there's a lot of, and I've talked to them, and I'm like, God, you need to give me a list of those so we can at least schedule them on the home policy.
Right.
And a lot of people don't, but it's super important to know. And if you don't want to insure them, so I don't have a lot of my wife's stuff insured, right? I'm okay with losing that.
Right.
But if you think the home policy's covering it, it's my job to tell you it's not, you know?
Yeah, I had a client last week actually told me, you know, she was paying $4,000 for insurance and she was trying to get the rate down. But I actually mentioned to her that I said, how much would you be willing to pay to know that, have peace of mind that all your stuff is covered, your jewelry, your watches, your purses, your things like that. She paid an extra $3,000 or $4,000 a year just to make sure that was all covered. So, you know, I guess I say all that to say that if you educate somebody on what that they can lay their head down at night without not having to worry, or they can leave their house on vacation. They don't have to worry about all that stuff. They'll pay a premium for it.
Right.
So
Makes sense. Well, and right now it's probably super important to cover your gold and silver. Mike, I asked this question to John earlier before we got on here, but did you go vote?
I voted early voting.
Okay.
Because I don't want to stand in line. I mean,
I asked the question not because I'm going to pick on who you voted for, but on there was a question that asked if Texas should adopt or inherit the use of gold and silver as a
that was pretty
fiat.
cool, yeah.
I thought that was super neat. Like that was on one of the
go back to the
ballots.
gold standard. Yeah,
Exactly.
For Texas alone, that'd be awesome.
I mean, the gold that everybody's been stashing would now become valuable. Like, you imagine the pulling in the like Whataburgers drive-through and handing them a gold nugget, like, and them just being like, "All right, here's your whatever. Hold on, let me weigh it out real quick. Like, let me get you 0.001 ounces of gold. So
Here's your
you got to
change.
carry your little burner so you can melt your gold down a little bit. Like, yeah."
a lot of people say bullets will be the most expensive thing.
They might actually they already are, so but to that point, is there anything that covers like raw gold or raw silver? Like, would that be covered?
Again, there is limits, right? So that's going to cap out.
So I can't have $1 million in gold sitting in my shoebox.
Again, you can have whatever you want at your house. It's not going to be covered.
So I should bury it in a hole. Like pirate's treasure.
Go get your shoebox,
Cash gold,
throw it in the-
silver, cash gold, silver. It's going to cap. Almost every single policy has a cap with the personal property on there.
Yeah.
And each company is again a little different. It might be $1,000, might be $2,500, might be $5,000.
Right.
But they're all going to cap.
Yeah. No, I just thought that was really interesting because we went and voted yesterday, and I was like,
I mean,
yep.
From what I understand, though, even if it does, like the house does burn to the ground, that gold will melt.
It'd still be there.
But you still have a lot of gold.
Just be melted down.
point.
No more gold bars. You
What
just
about my stash of 20s that I keep in my closet?
I mean, my $2 bills would be gone. Like-
Again, it's on there, and there's caps.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and the other cool thing was like, so the markets this week opened up like very, very harsh. I say that because there was a lot of kind of interest in crypto once again. Like we saw a lot of cryptocurrencies take off. Shiba Inu is one of them.
Yeah, I'm holding some of those bad daddies.
So I'm holding a lot of those bad daddies from like early
hold, like millions of them for like
2007.
$3.
Yes.
it's like,
But I saw that. I woke up one morning because my Facebook feed was just flooded with like Shiba's alive, and I'm like, what are they talking? So I go check my app, of
Zero,
course,
zero,
and
zero,
it's
zero,
like,
zero.
oh,
Whoa.
I'm 250% up. I like that.
It was like 148% up in like an hour. I was like, cha-ching, let's go. But yeah, the other.
Just saying.
So the second question here is, does homeowners insurance cover house foundation? Talking on that and just some bullet points like Texas foundation issues left and right, showing homes left and right, cracked driveways, cracked foundations. Is that covered?
So there is never ever going to be a policy sold in Texas that has earth shifting and earth movement as a coverage. And that's what causes the majority of foundation issues is settling, earth shifting, earth movement.
So there's a chance I can get that policy.
There's a 0.001%.
See, tell me there's a chance. But yeah, so because the what insurance, I'm going back to what insurance is supposed to be used for. It's a catastrophic event. Something has to occur for insurance to cover something, and longevity time is not an event. It's something that just happens over time. So, and earthquakes are not covered on.
You read my
home
mind.
insurance. Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. We just
Earthquakes
had-
are also not covered.
The
on
ground
insurance.
shifts. How's that not catastrophic?
It's super catastrophic, right? Like
Yeah.
landslides catastrophic. But I'm in Texas, and I'm not going to talk for other states. But in Texas, that's not going to be something that's on the policy. Now, there is an endorsement in Texas called foundation coverage with most HO3 policies and HOB policies, right? And that endorsement for foundation coverage will cover your foundation if a covered loss were to happen and shifts your foundation, right?
So
Can you
shifts,
say that in
house
English?
falls.
Yeah, so basically pipe breaks and creates a shift in your foundation or cracks your foundation.
Covered.
Right.
Like there's so much mud underneath your foundation, right? That it's all that water has soaked and
Yeah.
has shifted the concrete, and then bam, you get a foundation crack.
Yeah. And so then there would be coverage for that. And again, it's an endorsement on Moshe's.
Right, but foundation shifts, ground or foundation cracks, not covered.
And it's also a tricky thing to say, right? Because
Right.
like, well, a pipe broke. And you're like, well, and so most of the time they'll have an engineer go out and look at it. And we like to say that because engineers are supposed to be super smart. So
Right.
the second an engineer looks at it and gives it a stamp, it's like,
It's
cool.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good to go.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, these must be coming from Texas because I'm not sure what other states. But yeah, that's one thing that it's funny that it comes up because a lot of people ask me like, how's the foundation on this property? And I'm not the one to be asking. Like, hey, if you want to get a structural engineer out here to inspect the foundation, by all means, during our option period, let's do it.
Like what will you see, I guess, is a lot of people, I know that some of us can talk about like that, doors not closing properly, cracks in the wall.
Well, and a lot of that just means like the foundation just needs to be leveled, right? Like doors, and oftentimes a lot of it goes back to the hinges too. Like they're just not lined up properly, whatever the case might be. But yeah, to your point,
Or we have teenagers.
you have teenagers that close doors, slam doors.
Yeah, and so it's normal for a house to settle,
Right.
right? So shifting, settling, two different things.
Two different things.
Yeah. And every house will do it. To what extreme, though, there are companies out there, and there's some great companies. We actually insure a couple that will go out and fix it, and it's not as awful as you would think. I mean, it's not cheap,
Right.
but you can get your foundation fixed. If you have foundation issues, it's not the end of the world.
Makes sense.
It's just, again, it's the joys of being a homeowner.
Right.
Right.
Not to deter anybody out there watching the show today to buy a home.
Stuff happens.
Kind of a scary topic, but I mean, stuff could happen in your apartment complex.
But you don't have to pay for that.
Yeah. You don't have to pay for that.
Well, directly. Indirectly, rates go up.
Sure.
So that brings us to we gotta talk about this thing that James proposed to us a little earlier about how he was talking about AI, right? The evolution of AI and how scary it's getting because apparently he just what was it, an article you read? I don't know where it was at, but you want to.
Scammers. I said this is the portion of the show we do. Scammers. Anyway, so scam number one that we pulled up from AI was that a lady receives a phone call that her daughter is screaming on the phone saying, "Mom, please help me." Immediately, the robber takes the phone from the daughter and says, you need to send us money. We have your daughter tied up and we're going to Mexico and we're going to do terrible, terrible things to her. So this was an AI phone call. Basically, you can take somebody's voice. If you have a recording of somebody's voice, you can upload it onto the internet and it will, if you have a long enough sample, it will allow us to generate from a family member, and they'll be demanding money. So
Interesting.
the way to get around it is to hang up the phone and call that family member back and make sure that they're not tied up and on their way to Mexico. So AI is being used. This what is it? The voice replication stuff it's going to be pretty interesting moving forward here. Mike's not going to be able to get verbals.
Verbal approval. anymore.
Why do I feel like I'm being a part of a TikTok Kia car theft?
You're participating in the
I
revolution.
feel like I'm participating.
Well, I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Phil yesterday. He was talking about.
Oh, he's going all ham.
Well, he's done. I was watching TV and I saw myself endorsing a product I have never even seen before. It wasn't him. It was his voice. It was his likeness. But it's like, I've never seen it. And he goes, my lawyers sue him. They take it off. They start another company, and it's back up.
Yeah.
It's interesting though because there's like TikTok channels too on the TikTok subject that are basically just voice impersonating like the president and stuff like that, and they're making rap songs out of it, and like they're getting thousands of followers. It's like really weird.
That new Trump album hits.
That Trump, he was jamming it in his blowing his speakers.
Yeah, and then so the second story is that there's something called pig butchering, and a pig butchering scam is when a wealthy person will receive a text message from a random number, and they will respond and make friends with this anonymous person that claims to know them from the past. They will gain so much trust that they'll actually donate money, send money to them, and before they know it, they're up to their knees in a scam.
Interesting.
So yeah, pig butchering.
I was hoping for bacon there, but no.
I know. I was just like, so get
There's
to
bacon.
So the person that messaged me
Get
the
to the
other day
bacon.
that I haven't talked to for years is probably pig butchering me.
Could be. You'll get those random text messages. Hey, how are you? Hey, haven't talked to you in a while. It's an old friend. Very vague and ambiguous, and they'll just lead you down the yellow brick road too.
Wow.
Interesting. So who here at the table panicked yesterday when Facebook went down?
Oh yeah, I didn't panic, but I thought it was very interesting.
Did you change your password?
Oh yeah, I entered something. They have my password. Whoever stole that has my new password.
This one was not me, guys. Just throwing it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Only 2 scams, or is there 3? We got a third one.
Let's see. The
Pig
third-
butchering, fake kidnapping,
Right, and let's see. So that's 2.
and the Terminator.
The Terminator.
I'll be back.
I'll be right back.
Let's see.
So this is interesting too. While he looks for that, is you ever seen the corpse flower out in San Francisco?
It stinks.
You've seen it?
Well, no, I know of them. I've not been there.
I can
but
smell it
I can
through
smell-
the TV.
It's horrible.
It's
smell.
very.
I mean, it's
Flowers.
not just in San Francisco. There's more than one corpse flower.
It's very interesting that people would actually line up, and this is from the AP, that they would actually line up to see this flower
You smell like
that
corpse.
smells like death.
It's right next to the
Says-
methamphetamine flower.
San Francisco AP. Crowds lined up in San Francisco on Wednesday to see and smell the blooming of an endangered tropical flower that releases a pungent odor when it opens once every several years.
Only those who have been around a corpse would know what the flower smells like.
The plant blooms for 1 to 3 days once every 10 years. But people are lining up to actually smell this thing.
That ain't right.
Now you
That
just
ain't,
walk by a road.
Restaurant out.
that's in a movie, isn't it? He's like, I could taste it. It's the bench warmers. He farts in his face. And he's like, you had lasagna for lunch or something.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so the last scam comes out of Guilford County, what's NC?
North
North Carolina.
Guilford County, North Carolina. Sheriff's Office is asking for assistance to find a man who has reportedly scammed multiple victims. Let's see here. Milton Gray, 53, is wanted for felony obtaining property by false pretenses. Gray is accused of using company names to sell fencing to people, getting them to sign a contract, receiving payment, and ghosting them. So basically, he just gets the best fencing company in town, knocks on your door, acts like he's them, gets you to pay him, and pieces out.
Disappears.
Hey, we have a guy like that in our neighborhood right now.
Dude,
He's doing the curb painting.
yeah.
So, well, actually, right here in San Antonio, they had that guy that was doing the carts, the
Shopping carts?
food trucks.
Food trucks.
The food trucks. He was just collecting payment to redo food
yeah.
trucks and to create food trucks, and just not doing anything. It's just like,
He's like, I'm not going to make it.
yeah. He did it to like 4 or 5 people, and then there was a tombstone guy that was doing that too.
Why is San
like-
Antonio like the house of all scams? Because
Yeah.
there was just some lady that worked for the government that scammed the military out of like their 4A payments or something like that, which they pay out to contractors, and she scammed them for like $200-something million, if I'm not mistaken.
Dang.
That's awful.
They call her the Gucci Queen. She's what
Now
they
in some non-extraditious country.
writing some checks to her own contracting company.
Gucci Queen, like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gucci Queen.
Well, the tombstone one really bothered me though. I mean,
That's-
it's like
yeah,
collecting
that's-
money
yeah, that's-
from yeah.
That'd be like opening up a fake like funeral home and like selling non-existent plats or something.
Stay tuned next week. For
Yeah, that's
Scammers.
it's a very
Coming at you live from Scammers.
uplifting topic.
So we have a very interesting segment coming up right now called
That ain't right.
And Mike's graciously brought some. I'm gonna save the salsa because I'm still kind of skeptical. I may or may not do it. I might chicken out and put my my woman pants on. And I'll take the chicken fame for the year for the week. But Mike's brought some popcorn.
Stopped at Buc-ee's on my way back. We have 3 different flavors. Hopefully you guys can see them. We got watermelon, mango, and pineapple popcorn.
Gourmet popcorn.
Gourmet popcorn.
One of the cornerstones of growing my business as I grew up in this business.
Popcorn?
Gourmet popcorn, yeah.
First Popeyes.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's popcorn for my
for
Popeye.
Popeyes.
I used to pop by and I would bust in to the office. I'd bust in.
Like the Kool-Aid man?
I would. Oh, yeah. I'd look at the secretary at the office. I'd be like, "Do you love gourmet vanilla popcorn?" She didn't know what to. Yeah. I'd hand her 5 vanilla popcorns, and then I'd go grab all the loan officer and realtor cards, and then I'd go back and call them.
Well, Mike just smashed that one.
You've never done that to me.
Well,
John.
get ready, buddy.
I know. I walked in and told y'all's receptionist, tell him the taco man's.
Every week it's
Last
something
week it
new.
was the pizza man.
It was the hot dog guy.
the hot
one
dog
week.
guy.
So anyways, everybody's got to try some of this fabulous popcorn.
Bring it on. Mango.
Mango.
And-
No, just take some, pass it down.
Here, we got some napkins here.
Oh,
All right.
This week, I've chosen to bring us some barbacoa tacos. Shout out to Las Palapas off of 1604 in O'Connor.
Palops coming
The
in
Palops.
solid.
If you're a true San Antonian, you know the Palops comes in solid. Most cases, just depending on what side of town you're on.
there's a lot of Las Palapas.
There are a ton of Las Palapas. When we were younger and in our college days, we used to hit up, you remember Mama Margie's?
Oh.
Home with the 89-cent bean and cheese. That was their
If you didn't get shot, shout out to Mama Margie's.
Mama off of Marbach.
Dodged a couple bullets over there.
So we've brought some barbacoa tacos, and let's talk a little bit about the barbacoa tacos before we get into John's thing over there. But so barbacoa tacos, Mike, you mentioned face meat.
Face meat. It's like the cheeks, right?
So a barbacoa taco, it could be made, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're Mexican at this table
the
too.
only resident Mexican. Got it. Second resident.
But a barbacoa taco can come from a cow's face or a cow's tongue, just depending on.
So can
The
you
cut.
clarify, are we eating face or tongue here?
I don't know. You got to call Las Palapas on that one.
I thought tongue was lingua.
Tongue is lingua, but they do use it for barbacoa. You'll see this taco is probably tongue. Just FYI.
No, it looks like face to me.
Does it? Face generally is a little bit more stringy.
There's one thing I know in this world. It's shredded face. That's what it is.
So, for all you viewers out there,
Like
look
that
at
popcorn was really good.
these
It
things
was good.
come through greasy and nice and compressed. You can see that's a good barbacoa taco there.
So the more grease, the better.
oh, he's like
Oh yeah.
the next morning when you wake up and it's not like coated in like Crisco before you microwave it and eat it for breakfast again. That's how you know
Exactly.
it was perfect.
That, and if you want to have a cherry on top, drink it with a Big Red, or eat it with a Big Red.
Eat the big red.
Oh, most definitely.
That is true San Antonian.
So
right
I don't think
there
I
for
should
you.
tell my insurance agent I'm eating these.
Now your
My
life,
life insurance will go up just for every taco you eat.
Not only does your cholesterol go up, your life
Insurance
insurance
goes
goes up.
Premium.
So,
And
who
John's
wants
brought,
to put some hot sauce on there?
Oh,
I gotta try some.
Well,
Let me try the ghost pepper. I don't think I'm man enough for the Carolina Reaper.
So the Carolina Reaper, yeah. So this is Dave's Insanity sauce. Shout out to Dave. I bought it off of Amazon, and it's literally
that sounds really great.
yeah, literally. One of my really close friends, Jade, let me have some and left a bottle at my house a couple years ago, and it's probably some of the hottest stuff I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah.
The Carolina Reaper one.
Which one's the hottest?
The Carolina Reaper one's the hottest, in my opinion. It feels like you licked the devil's butt, and it just is not okay. It's like they didn't. Now the ghost pepper one is spicy. If you don't use a lot though, it'll actually give some good flavor on a taco.
Scorpion pepper.
The scorpion pepper, I just tried the scorpion pepper a little while ago. It was not nearly as bad as that Reaper.
No, there's 2, 3. Oh,
man.
that's gonna hurt.
It actually very well may
I'm
hurt.
going scorpion
Maybe-
pepper. Mike went what? Ghost pepper.
I went
I
ghost
went
pepper.
ghost pepper. I'm gonna go ghost pepper.
I gotta
'cause
move this
tried
around now. I gotta mix it up.
Yeah.
One dab of the scorpion.
Right.
Oh, he's dousing.
Oh, my smokes. Oh, what are you doing over there?
I mean, I just want to make sure people
Forget about the afternoon plans.
Oh, it's like smelling salt. Oh.
Yeah. Now, if you want to be a real man, try that Carolina Reaper one.
How about
Scorpion pepper?
You
Really
should
good.
try mixing them.
Good taste. I put a small dab.
What happened,
though.
Mike?
How are you doing?
First bite, a little tingling, but not bad. Go to number 2.
All right, let me go for the badass. This the hot one?
No, that one's good.
No, it's the hot one's a
Reaper.
Carolina Reaper.
The Reaper one really, I don't know why they made it. It just doesn't feel right.
So we were talking about this, but when we moved to Washington, I lost all interest in hot stuff. And coming back, I became a little
A northern.
conservative on hot sauces. So Chipotle lights me up. Chipotle red sauce lights me up.
That is
now.
some hot stuff, though.
It
It's hotter than
it is hot, like real hot.
Chipotle. What are you putting in that red sauce?
I don't know, but those sweats start coming out.
Oh, for
and
sure. If you can eat that, you can eat a lot of normal hot sauce.
How is that ghost pepper, Mike?
The ghost pepper's not actually. You're right. It adds some
it's good
decent-
flavor. Yeah, it's
decent
good
flavor.
You got a little
flavor.
sweat coming down the nose there.
Oh,
Oh.
Now this one is gonna not feel right, but
I only put a small.
it's only one
dab.
drop. Get out of it. Put a little more in there.
There used to be
that one
a
better.
place called Habanero Grill. Do you remember that place
Carolina
over there
Reaper.
off of Thousand Oak or Nacogdoches? And one day I ordered a burrito and put habanero sauce in it, and I got through the guy literally doused that burrito in that habanero sauce.
So that's back when the habanero was the hottest pepper.
Right now you got ghost peppers
Now
and
they've
Carolina
genetically
Reapers.
engineered just wickedness on a plant.
Like there's an unnecessary demand for this
No.
super hot sauce.
It's like the COVID scientists were like, COVID and this hot sauce.
No, it is a Carolina Reaper.
here,
Oh, that's hot.
try this one, Mike.
That one is nice and.
Fine. If everyone else is doing it,
Yeah.
I will try
go
that.
in.
I did 4 mini drops, and
I
it's,
will
it's
try
good.
the ghost pepper.
I'm not gonna get up and leave the table or anything, but
That's not even it. All right, it's on
that's
there.
where you want to
It's
be.
on there.
That's where
For the witness, it's right there.
that's where you want to be right there.
And
There
we
you go.
are. falling
How'd
there.
you get onions on yours? Dang.
There's onion right there, dude.
Oh.
All right,
Everybody knows you
we got
got
2
the
drops.
There you go.
We got 2 drops. What's going on, Mike?
That
Tell us what's burning.
is making some beads of sweat pop in
Yeah,
my forehead already.
It's not even right. It's just
That's-
like who? How did that? And I've eaten a Carolina Reaper pepper before, and I sliced it up and put it on a taco. It was hot. It wasn't as hot as that.
That ain't right.
Yeah, it
wow,
wasn't as
that
hot
was
as
like
that.
a little drop, and that's some greasy meat to counteract it. It's
Yeah.
See, that ghost pepper, a little hot. 2 drops is probably about all I can handle. But yeah,
Okay. I definitely got the sweats on the Carolina Reaper for sure.
man.
get some onion. It'll help calm it down.
There was a fad. Andrew Tate was telling people to eat raw onion to fight cancer and all do those stuff. And I did it for a couple days. My wife would not come close to me at all. It was bad. You can take a shower. You can do whatever. Maybe brush your teeth. That'll fix it.
Yeah, so this is the stuff that's on the 1 chip challenge, right? This is ghost pepper, chili sauce.
I honestly,
Or
I
is it
don't
now
know.
Keller
The
line?
one I did the 1 chip challenge, and it was spicy, and that was and and I actually went 15 minutes without eating anything or drinking anything after I did it, and it was more it hurt my stomach than wrecked my mouth.
Right.
I was like, wow, my
Yeah, because this one's good. You're right. It
Wow,
adds a
since you
little
had your-
flavor to it. It's got a little kick. The kick doesn't last very long.
It's been a while since you had your mouth wrecked, isn't it? Hey, oh!
And that's what makes this show not PG.
Put the kids to bed, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting rowdy over
In
here.
honor of Homes and Homies, I wore my skinny jeans today. Just spice it up a little bit.
Not that it wasn't spicy enough already. No pun intended.
Your chila's probably trying to get some air is what's going on. Hey-o.
So what else is going on? So we had, where did my phone go?
What other topics do we
Well,
have?
we talked about the corpse flour.
Let's talk about this the corpse flour. So there was an article that was written about 33 grossest foods. See, I can do gross foods. Hot foods? Not my friend. But 33 extremely weird and gross foods you can actually buy. A lot of these are on Amazon.
Bring it on.
Let's
Can we order?
talk about fake meat.
Oh,
All that lab-grown meat.
You know what grinds my gears? Fake meat.
I'm telling you, that like,
Fake meat is not meat.
turkey
Nope.
sausage.
So listen to this, and maybe
But
this
that's
is
real
next
meat.
week's
Oh, is it?
segment
Yeah.
of weird foods that ain't right. Cheeseburger in a tube.
Yo,
It's a thing.
we need to
You
buy
get
some of those.
Oh,
cheeseburger in a tube.
Okay.
Pumpkin spice Pam or spam, not Pam, spam.
I'm all right on that.
A whole alligator with head and feet. I don't know about that. That's like Cajun right there.
See, I'd eat some alligator. That's not too weird.
Earthworm jerky.
A whole one, no, with the head and the feet on there.
It's barbecue.
earthworm jerky.
Mm.
We gotta try that. Put that on the list.
Earthworm
jerky.
Yeah, we're
Edible chocolate anus.
Not passing out. Just playing out on that one.
No.
gonna- Just call 1-800.
1-800.
You ain't got to buy one, dude.
There is a exotic meats beef jerky, also sold on Amazon. Staying the most, and this is probably a cool one that we should get, is the world's most sour soda. Staying.
Sounds like it would stank.
The description says you've seen these in the videos of babies trying lemons for the first time, right? Or you've seen those videos of babies trying lemons for the first time. That'll be when you try the world's most sour soda. Warhead's candy can't hold a candle to just how pucker-inducing this blue beverage is.
Pucker-inducing.
Stang.
Stay.
Quite the marketing.
Mammoth meat.
What did you say, James?
Good marketing.
Hey, these might actually be really good.
Mammoth
Macaroni.
meat?
and-
Wait, rewind to the mammoth meat. What is that? Is that? Excuse
So this little bit of mammoth meat comes sealed in an acrylic package. Should you eat it? Probably not. Will that stop everyone? Absolutely not. But take that page out of Jurassic Park's book and leave well enough alone.
It's like,
So what is mammoth meat?
it's
I-
actually
mammoth
mammoth.
It is actually mammoth meat.
So you're paying
Like
a bunch
Oh
of-
no!
Holy.
So like thousands-year-old meat.
you're paying a bunch of money for some
thousands.
frozen meat that's probably rancid and nasty.
Yeah. So literally,
You can pick up some kind of exotic
what
germ
that
from.
like?
Yeah.
What mammoths were? What, 30,000, 50,000?
This-
I mean, like I can't.
Try to get an aged
I
steak.
mean,
It's
they
only-
tell you not to eat meat after like 2 hours or 3 hours of it sitting on a countertop.
Not
but-
mammoth meat.
Not
though.
mammoth meat. 30,000 years.
Well, I mean, if you freeze something,
30,000 million
if you
years.
freeze something, is good for like 6 to 9 months. I mean, you're
So we might like
6
this
to
one.
9 months,
Millennium.
30,000
There
years.
there is a Kraft macaroni and cheese gummy.
Oh my god.
So macaroni and cheese like gummy bears.
Yeah.
What about Swedish fish Oreos? Maybe.
The gummy, I'm intrigued with this
Macaroni
gummy. They combine two of my favorite things.
Okay.
Macaroni and cheese and gummies into one.
So here's the other one. Strange flavored sodas. They got buffalo wing soda, sweet corn soda, pumpkin pie soda, ranch dressing soda, and peanut butter and jelly.
Ranch dressing soda sounds
You just called you
absolutely
weak on your soda
disgusting.
purchasing. Right there.
I like that. We're gonna have to get that package there.
All bought on Amazon. Pizza ice cream. Where were these when we were doing it?
Yeah, I don't.
No, pepperoni maybe.
You're like anchovy ice cream. It's delicious.
I'm surprised they don't stock these at HEB, but taco truck jelly bean.
Taco truck deli beans.
Enjoy your favorite midnight taco in whole new way with jelly beans. That's right, the Easter candy has gained a new life as strangely flavored morsels. Inside the bag, you'll find margarita, churro, salsa, guacamole, beef taco, and horchata. Muy delicioso.
Hey, is that the Easter Bunny way? Hey, let me get a barbacoa bean, bro.
They unfortunately do not have a barbacoa, which is strange, but poop like a champion with champion cereal.
Got that covered.
What?
It's like fiber cereal.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
it says it, and it's non-GMO for all you.
It's prune flavored.
After a bowl of poop like a champion, you might want to make sure you're around the toilet because that's gonna come out of you fast and furious. With over half your daily serving of fiber, the cereal all but guarantees you take a dump of a lot.
And laxative.
Edible survival tablets.
You want to eat cereal and immediately have to run to the bathroom? Come try our cereal.
Have you ever been tired of not having to explosive diarrhea after eating cereal? Well,
Got that covered.
What about Brock's turkey dinner candy corn? Turkey flavored candy corns.
That's probably better than regular candy corn. 'Cause regular candy corn is nasty.
Kraft mac and cheese ice cream.
It's
again,
hard to
I'm intrigued.
It's hard to
No,
change
that
the
ain't
candy
right.
corn flavor too. Like
Yeah.
many have tried, like even nerds tried, and it still tasted like garbage candy corn. God bless them.
I'm going to probably butcher this word. So for all you drinkers out there, Jepson's Malort is not for the faint of heart. In fact, it's not for anyone who has a heart or a soul for that matter. It tastes like gasoline, a tire, and a slap in the face, and you should only drink it if you've done something really bad.
Is that like old turkey or wild turkey? That looks terrible.
I don't know.
That's a hell of a marketing thing.
Yeah. Punish yourself. Drink some of this.
Salt and vinegar grasshoppers. These unusually noisy insects won't be bothering your summer nights anymore. They might, however, get stuck in your teeth. Their legs are kind of tiny. The grasshoppers had been flavored with salt and vinegar to give them some seaside flair.
Sick.
Oh, man. Prickly pear cactus candy. The coolest part of this prickly pear cactus candy is the box, which has some awesome retro vibes that you really don't see in the packaging anymore. Inside, you'll find a unique treat, which is handcrafted from an actual cactus.
I got to back that one up. We're marketing a product saying our box is cooler than our candy.
Exactly.
I just can't get over the drink, whatever you just said, like two before that.
Oh, the Jepson's Malort.
You shouldn't drink it if you don't have a heart or a soul. You'd be better off drinking gasoline.
Yeah, it tastes like gasoline, a tire, and a slap in the face. You should only drink this if you've done something really bad. What else is on here, man? There's 33 things. We got a laundry list of episodes coming right for you. Jelly Bean Extreme Bean Boozled gift game. We've probably
Talked
all
about
done that one. Preserved duck eggs. Actually be among your favorites.
No.
I'm out.
No way.
Pumpkin spice cup of noodles. Oops.
Weird, but not bad.
We don't want to buy it. Let's not
Buy it now. One click.
Edible. Oh, come on. Come on, people. Don't you know we're live on the air? Edible scorpions.
I'm good on that.
Tastes like chicken.
Mike's like, I've had them.
You might.
Yeah, edible black forest scorpion.
The mango is the winner.
It's yours? Yeah.
No, it's the winner. That one's actually.
I think the
pretty
bango does. Well, yeah.
Roadkill sausage. They call it roadkill sausage because it's
Expecting he was going to say raccoon, possum,
Some squirrel.
and rat, and
Coyote, I mean.
holy cow, shiitake mushroom candy canes.
that sounds disgusting.
Go ahead and tell your mom that you're doing shrooms when you're chowing down on these candy canes. Her reaction will be quite fun to watch. That's only if you can manage to keep the candy in your mouth for an extended period of time, because these shiitake mushroom candy canes are pretty disgusting.
Joke's on you. Mom's on shrooms too.
Zombie beef jerky. If you like green eggs and ham, Sam I am, then the zombie beef jerky is for you. It's green, but that's about all it's weird, and it ends. That's odd, but it really is beef jerky flavored with a bit of teriyaki and will delight your taste buds.
That's lame.
Yeah. Dirt soda pop. Did you ever eat dirt as a kid? Get your chance to try Earth delicacy. As an adult in the form of soda, the bubbles add an interesting touch to the soil-flavored soda, which might mix well with alcohol.
Gross.
Man, there's a list of these things. Warhead soda, Fruity Crisp Oreos,
I could do that.
Hot Scream Spicy Ice Cream. But
Creeps in the popcorn.
should we wrap it up there, guys?
Let's
let's
wrap
wrap
it
it
up.
up.
That sounds good.
Well, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Homes and Homies. My name's Ernest.
My name's James.
My name's Mike.
I'm John.